to episode 2 of Sasha and Goff live recorded. I'm Sasha.
I'm Goff.
And this is a podcast. This is a podcast about stuff and things, and we'll have a top 3 list at some point along the way. Goff, how are you doing this week?
I'm fine, I guess.
You were wearing the same exact shirt as you were wearing last week.
You are too. What the hell's going on here? Did we plan this?
This is crazy. I don't know what's happening, but we need more shirts.
Yeah.
This is the thing. We need more shirts and we need your money. Do you want this space? Give us your money. Send it to our Venmo. We don't have one. Figure it out. You know us. You know us. Give me $5. Yes. Somebody just give me $5. This could be yours. Whatever you want. Anything. Non-racist.
Yeah.
Can be sexist, I believe.
Sexist is fine.
But
also, yeah,
racist.
if you want to put... It's kind of like you'll be part of the show with us. So, I mean, your face will be there entire time. We might awkwardly talk to you at times. I don't know. This is going nowhere. Sasha, you go back to talking.
Let's start the show. I wanted to talk about injuries. I wanted to talk about injuries because I wanted to talk about it in the last episode, and we went over it. But we were talking about the Billy Joe Travis Memorial Crockett Cup Tag Team Golf Invitational Championship, which I won.
Yeah, you did.
And I won it with some injuries, which is the even more impressive part. If I was 100% healed, I would have broken the course record. So I have some injuries that's going on. I run a lot, and so I have like foot injuries. I know. I enjoy running. I've always enjoyed running, and I know why. Because I've always had to. I played soccer my
entire...
I was
being chased?
No, but I do remember...
Doing the chasing.
When I was a kid, my dad bought me a bike, and it was like a mountain bike or whatever, and I just left it outside because I don't take care of my things. Yeah. And it got rusty to the point of not being able to drive it anymore. And he
long, huh?
And he was like, if you want a new bike, you're going to have to buy one. But I was like, 10. Yeah. There's no way I could ever... Like, I can't buy one now. I don't have the money to get a mountain bike currently.
Spending my money on Otis keychains.
So, instead, I just ran everywhere. So, like, when my friends would ride bikes, I would just run with them. And then throughout high school, I played soccer. And then, like, one of my buddies lived, quite the distance from here. I don't want to give his exact address and social, but... It was like
just social. Just get the social.
It was like a half-hour bike ride from my house, and I would just run to his house, and then like we would run around or whatever, and then I'd run back
drop
home.
Him off.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was crazy. So like I've always enjoyed running, but as you get older, everything's just giving up on me. Yeah. So like I have Achilles issues, I have knees issues, and about 6 months ago. I guess longer than 6 months ago, maybe a year ago, I started working out like with weights. I've never done that in my life, and I worked out. I worked out so much that I got so much I could barely fit through the door. But I like overworked my shoulder.
Okay,
and so I had a crazy pain from like my bicep to my elbow, and I couldn't do anything for many months. The only thing you have to do is like. Not do anything. That's the only thing.
Jump
you
in
do.
A time machine and
lose
5 years.
And so once that healed, I started working out again. That was about 6 months ago, and it's been going great. I work out 6 times a week. I work out 3 times a week. I run 3 times a week, and it's great. Like we're old and we need to work out. And so now the same exact thing has happened to my left arm. Ooh. And then we're going to do the golf tournament, and I'm like, I can't do anything. I had to stop working out again. I'm like. Getting soft
I can
and
tell
whatever.
You're getting smaller.
It's gross. No, I'm getting bigger.
No, you're shrinking from those 2 days off.
It's been weeks, and I'm getting like flabbier, so it's not a good thing. But then I was also walking down the stairs, and this is how you get injured when you get older: is just general movements. I was walking down the stairs, and I hit the bottom stair. And just a sharp pain went up my spine, through my neck, and down my right arm. I couldn't turn my head right for a couple of days, and I have not been able to sleep on either side of my body because everything hurts. The spine has almost healed completely. I'm like 95% good, but the arm is still a problem. Again. So like the golf thing, I thought might have been an issue, and it turned out to be great.
It helped.
Yeah, I should always be injured when I golf. But I wanted to know with you, current injuries.
You're like, I've seen how you look. You've got to be fucking injured, right?
Well, you also work like it's a physical job, right?
Yeah. No, I stay in shape because I get like 15 to 20,000 steps almost daily.
Yeah, that's great. That's
better
that's
than working pretty
out.
much all I need to do because I sure as hell do not work out. I tried doing it and it was always because the place I work at has a gym available, so I can pretty much hop in whenever I want. And like there'll be times where it's just like, oh, it's getting close to summer. Spring summer breaks in a week, so I'll start hitting the gym. But no, currently, I think I might have tennis elbow. I was talking to my wife's cousin a couple weeks ago at Greek Easter. He was really bummed about like his mortality. I mean, and he's about our age, maybe like actually either a year, give or take, whatever. But yeah, he was really bummed talking about his tennis elbow, and it's just like we're talking about our tennis elbow, And it's like, and yeah, not too long ago, like I had a really bad knee injury, and I was very scared, like because it was stinging like behind. I was Googling all this stuff, and everything's it's probably this, but it could be this,
Yeah.
So I kept pushing it off, and yeah, it went away. So it'll probably be back, but. No, and we got in, Joni and I, my wife, and then my buddy Vic, years back, we got into a really bad car accident, and my scapula actually never really healed the right way.
Wow.
So I actually can't, like, if I try to throw a baseball overhand, I'll get one good throw in, and then my arm's dead for, like, the next week, and it's bad. Like, and I used to have a really, really good arm. I used to play Little League. But yeah,
when you were 30.
Yeah, when I was this is like 2 weeks ago. But no, this car accident we got in, I mean it really fucked my arm up, and it just never really healed. But I went bowling. Like I was in a league when the accident happened, and I was supposed to they're like, just take the rest of the season off. I took like 2 weeks off, and even the people in the league are like, what the hell are you doing?
But like, the bowling was okay?
No. Oh, I mean, like, I could do it, yes, without... Yeah, because that's actually the thing, too. I can throw underhand fine. But, yeah, it's like when I try to go over, it's just... it's rough, but...
This is the first time I've ever had shoulder injuries.
Yeah.
Everything, like, down here, I've had all of that stuff before. But, like, now my knee gives out. I can run perfectly fine, but if I need to step up, like, stairs, sometimes it'll just give out, and I'm like, oh!
I had... This was years ago, so this was like before we were even our prime old age. I was with my daughter Natalie, and we were playing on the ground. This is when she was really little, and I got up, and my knee cracked so hard. She was like, "Come in." She thought someone knocked on the door. Yeah, it was hysterical.
So you were talking about your job. I am in a situation where like I drive a truck. I've been driving a truck for about 5 years or something like that.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of like interested in going back to work in an office. Like I've had my share of truck stuff. But the only problem is that I like that, like my job is kind of on call. So like a lot of times I won't even work on a Tuesday or whatever. Or if I do, they just call me and then I just leave my house. I'm like prepared to work in between 9 and 5 at any time. But I don't.
So do you deliver?
Yeah. I deliver freight like only locally within like 30 miles of where I am, and I'm home every day. I'm rarely out past 5 o'clock or whatever.
Nice.
But everything's on call, so I don't know. So if somebody's like, "Hey, do you want to go to lunch?" I'm like, "I'll let you know about an hour before lunch."
I worked at a restaurant for just a very short time, and anytime it's like you're on call, it's like, am I a fucking doctor? Really? It's like just tell me to come in. I'd rather come in than have to sit and wait.
Part of it is nice because like there's days, like I think about people who have to work every single day, whatever 7 to 3 or whatever the normal times are. I don't even
9 to 5 or whatever.
And I think about that and how many days I wake up and I'm like, ugh. Or like I'm not ready until like 11 a.m. to like start the day or whatever. Now that's not every day. I'm up every day by 7:30, but like there are days where I'm moving slower and I totally like forgot about how it is to like have a job. Yeah. So that's the only like thing that's kind of keeping me from maybe going back to an office is that every single day, this time to this time and blah blah blah. But then I was thinking, this podcast, we've talked about it before, like we're friends, we've been friends a long time, but I still don't know tons of stuff about you.
It's Brian.
Brown?
Brian.
Brown.
Sure.
Brown. All right.
Sasha and Brown recorded.
So I wanted to know, I don't know if you know every job that I've had, but I want to know every job that you've had.
Every job I've had.
Every job ever. So starting at the first coal mine you worked at when you were 8 or whatever.
Like Ron Swanson.
Yeah, up until the time so like I can go first and tell you.
If you want, I honestly, I have
them.
maybe 4 or 5. I don't have that many, to be honest.
Okay,
but
well,
yeah.
go ahead.
All right, well, my first job was just working with my dad. He owns a maintenance custodial company, so I did that. Then worked at a video arcade for many years with your cousin. What did I do after that? Yeah, I served a little bit. I did some construction. I actually did a little bit of bricklaying, but I was mostly a laborer.
Oh yeah, you worked with my parents' neighbor.
Yes, Leonard.
Yeah,
That's
Leonard.
oh my god! I totally was it Leonard or Lawrence?
No, Leonard.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I was going to say Leonard or Leon.
Yeah, well, I remember
Leonard.
that because he would talk about how all because he lived in the cul-de-sac, right?
Yeah.
Like everyone
built
was trying to
everyone's-
one up the mailboxes, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but either way, so I did that.
I feel like he built my parents.
He might have. He's a great bricklayer, actually. But yeah, I was more so a laborer. I would get up on the wall every once in a while, but that was actually a really fucking good job. Like for my age, money wise, and then just staying in shape. That's probably the best shape I was in, just like hucking bricks around and like concrete and mortar and all that stuff. It was my uncle's company, family stuff kind of got involved and it didn't really work out. And and then I served for about 1.5 years, and then the job I'm at now.
In the army?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
I served in Korea.
Thank you for your service.
You're welcome.
All right.
I didn't get a text on Memorial Day, you prick.
I don't even know when it is.
Yeah, it was like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, happy birthday.
Yeah.
Happy
birthday,
Brown, yeah.
American veterans.
There you go.
But yeah, no, so I really haven't had a very exciting work career just because I've the job with your cousin, I got that through him. The one with my dad through him. The one with my uncle through him. So I'm a very nepotismic person.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
All right.
That's probably the word.
I'm in the same boat.
Yeah.
It's like, so I've been attempting to do stand-up comedy for a couple years, up and down, here and there. And like one of my it usually all comes back to the fact that I am middle-aged and have not accomplished anything. and a lot of it has to deal with like literally every job I've had has been like somebody that I know is like, you need to whatever. Maybe not exactly. Like, all right, so my first job, I worked in retail. And my cousin, who got you the arcade job, got me the retail job.
Did I take your job? Did I
Maybe.
replace you?
Maybe.
Did you work there too? At that place that I worked at? The arcade?
No.
Okay,
no,
all right. Because I know some of our other group of friends did.
No, I didn't work there.
Okay.
But I almost did. Like, there was kind of like this is probably where I'll end up.
Yeah.
But no, before he worked there, we worked at the same home and garden center, we'll call it. He got me that job when I was like 15. And then because of that job, I was able to get a job at Home Depot.
Okay.
For like 6 months is all I could handle. Because they were like, you got to be here at 6 a.m. or whatever. That's not even a real time to me.
Clocks don't start that early.
So like that was a little bit. And then I worked a cash job where I worked for the cousin that gave you the job and gave me the job.
Yeah.
His brother got me this job.
Oh.
And so it was doing vending machine filling.
Okay.
And at a different video game center, by the way, that I had to go to like pick stuff up and take it to high school.
I have done vending, actually. I hated it.
I did that. I liked it, but I got a DUI at the time, which really put the kibosh in things.
While you were doing?
Yeah. No, not like actually coming back from work one day.
Wow.
But yeah, like after work, I stopped because one of my cousin's friends had just gotten engaged at the bar at the video game center. And so we were drinking and having a good time, and then on the way home, I got pulled over.
This was a no-win situation for you.
It never is. I've never won. Everything.
Except that golf.
Yeah. Things are looking up, I guess. You have to create your own thing to be good at it.
That's
eventually.
right.
By the way, I lost the first 3 years of that. So, and so vending was. I mean, I enjoyed the vending job, but I was paid in cash because it was a vending job. I was paid in $5 bills.
A lot of quarters.
So I would get like
yeah.
envelopes of $5 bills, and we would go to the bar, and I would just be paying like
go.
for everything until the envelope got thinner or whatever. And so I couldn't do that job anymore. And then I got a job because a friend of mine was like, "Hey, man, you can't be unemployed for as long as you've been unemployed. We're out of high school."
That's kind of how mine was with your cousin.
Yeah. And so my buddy was like, "There's a restaurant that's opening up by my place. Just go apply. I'll give you $20 if you go apply."
Wow.
And I was like, $20?
Oh, yeah.
Like, yeah. I didn't think I'd get the job. I got the job, unfortunately, and I ended up working in this restaurant for like 7-8 years. Mm-hmm. I ended up meeting my wife there, so it is all bad. No, just kidding. So that's the good that came out of it, and it was an okay job. And so I did that like with school, going back and forth until I finally quit that. And then after that, I got a job working at my cousin's maintenance thing. So like we've worked the same
We've
jobs.
probably been in competition
for
before yesterday.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Before the golf tournament, we've been in competition before.
So I worked there for 10 years until this driving thing came up, which was kind of like you could do your own situation. So I had to like start my own trucking company. It's not really a trucking company. I hate telling people all I do is drive a truck.
It is what it is.
I know, but it's not like it's all legit. It's a real job. I am licensed and all that stuff. It is my company, but it's just it's a weird thing that I do only for myself. I'd never like work on my business to grow it, to get more drivers or anything like that. It's just like I treat it more like a job than I do a business or whatever. But so I've been doing that for who knows how long. So
no, I've been at my current job for almost 15 years, and it's I don't know. Stability is great, man. So.
Well, once this podcast takes off, we'll have another.
This is one more thing to do.
Equal job. No.
All right, so let's talk about what we've been putting in each other, or putting in our. What have you been like listening to lately? And
all right, so this is what are we putting inside one of us?
What are we consuming? Let's say that.
If you can name this bit that we're doing, this segment, we'll give you a free month up here. Free month in the spot. What I've been consuming is a TV show. Do you have Max?
Yes.
All right.
It was real quick. I know you're not like a big movie guy, whatever. You remember there used to be a Cinemax, obviously?
Yeah.
I don't understand why HBO thought it was a good idea to
I agree.
Name their thing Max and just put it as Max, not HBO Max. And they even had HBO on there, and they're like, get rid of it. So it is so confusing to me. Yes, I have Max, but I always have to think about it. It's like, wait, that's the HBO one, not the... Yeah.
I also thought that until I realized what their plan was.
Was it to...
Because I looked for softcore porn constantly. Yeah. And I saw Max, the app, and I was like,
Max. Yeah.
Well, let me take a look at this. And then it ended up being...
Just Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah. So I've been watching something on Max recently. I actually just finished the season. It's a show I've been watching since it came out, and every season that comes out, I watch the whole thing. And then I have to wait a year or whatever.
Like the Peasants, yeah.
Yeah. I kind of like it. I prefer it. It's old school. But it's called Hacks. Have you seen this? Have you heard about this?
Oh, wait, I believe I've heard of it, yeah.
So it's the lady from... She used to be in Designing Woman. I don't know her name. One of the women...
Delta Burke?
Not Delta Burke. And she is... What's her name? I think it starts with a J. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But she plays like a comedian who's like now 60, 70 years old, whatever it is. So she was like great in the 80s and this big star and blah, blah, blah. Okay. And then now her career has kind of been going downhill. So they want to hire her a writer to write new material, fresh material, and then they hired what's her name? Hannah Binder. And she's a young comedian now, so she's like on the way up, but got fired from her job for whatever, and so she's all like woke, she's bi, she's like all of this kind of stuff, and then the old school comedian, and then like they have to mix and all the crazy
culture
stuff.
clashes.
Yeah, and I'm a big comedy guy, and I've loved it. The first 3 seasons. And they just got signed for a 4th season. So it's going to keep on going, but yeah, it's funny. It's if you like comedy, I think you'll like it because it's like I mean not just like the genre of comedy, but like stand-up comedy stuff. I think you'll really like it.
Yeah.
So that's all I got this week. What are you putting inside of yourself?
Unfortunately, a lot of White Sox baseball. This is arguably
even I know that's bad.
This is the worst thing that's happened to Chicago since the Great Fire.
Okay.
Again, we're in the Chicagoland area. I'm a huge White Sox fan. They fucking suck, and it's hard to watch because I'm a big baseball fan. Mad Max Furiosa. Have you seen any of the Mad Max movies?
No, and I did see the commercial for this one, and I go, oh, that looks kind of cool, and my wife was like, you nerd. And so I don't know.
Oh, man.
We don't know like what it is or what it's about.
Did you listen to my last podcast? I don't even know because I specifically called you out on there saying that's what I want you to watch is Mad Max Fury Road because you made me watch Titanic 2.
Okay, I don't think
so. Okay, well then fine. Here, you need to watch Mad Max Fury Road.
All right, I'll put it on this list that I'm not going to look at ever again.
All right, but that is like the one that comes before this one, Furiosa. So, but
don't watch this one.
No, well, you could because this one's a prequel, so it's recorded after whatever, but it takes place before. But anyway, no, the guy who directed it, George Miller, he's like 75 years old, something like that. I mean, like he directed Babe 2, Pig in the City, and Happy Feet, and then all the Mad Max movies.
Okay, all right.
So the Mad Max movies, obviously, you got Mel Gibson. Take it or leave it with them.
No problems there.
Yeah, but Mad Max Fury Road, I think is the greatest action film ever made. That's why I was just like, Sasha, watch it.
Fury Road,
yeah. But then this one's called Furiosa, which is similar. But this one is not as good as that one. I'm just going to compare these two because it's like they're technically all part of the Mad Max series, but like this is like almost a new... Because Tom Hardy's playing Mad Max now. Not Mel Gibson.
I don't know.
Tom Hardy's an actor.
I know Jeff Hardy and Matt Hardy.
Yeah, they're in it too.
All right.
But anyway, Furiosa it's still in theaters. It was pretty good. Not as good as the other.
Okay.
And then the other thing, the new Bayside. Which, again, the new Bayside album, what's it called? It's like There Are Worse Things Than Being Alive or Being Dead, something like that. But, I talked a little bit about Bayside on the last episode. I am not, because Bayside, like you talked about, I think on the last episode too, like fast drums, fast guitar, that's always the kind of punk fan I've been. Yeah. But I think as I've gotten older, it's just like, all right, maybe getting more into lyrics and then just like, when there's music that my brother can be like, I know you'll like this band, and it's just because they're fast. I'm like, this band sucks, But Bayside is just, to me, a very consistent band with the singer's got a great voice, and a band that, like, even this is their, I think, 8th or 9th album, and I think it might be their best one.
Wow.
So it's like, I know you said not your cup of tea, and that's fine because they've worked live for a long time.
I'll listen to it for sure.
Okay.
And especially if you're like, it's good.
Yeah.
I'm always willing to try. I should say, I'm more willing to try now as I've gotten older, even to stuff that I didn't listen to before. Like, I just went through, you're going to not like me for this one, but I just started listening to Radiohead, like, from the beginning. I've never been a fan.
Yeah.
I'm still not a fan, but there's like 3 or 4 songs that I listened to that I was like, oh, okay, these are good.
Yeah.
And they're generally the more structured songs.
Yeah.
I hate the artsy,
just like
drown noises, whatever.
Feedback bullshit.
And that's something like I've hated them, but now I was just kind of like, let's give it a try. I'm older.
Yeah.
We'll see. So like Yeah, I'll give it a listen. Bayside. And please don't listen to Radiohead. They're mostly bad. So.
I hate to be like the guy that's just like, oh, fuck that. Like right when you just mentioned Radiohead, but it's like, I don't even want to, like, there's the good thing though about music now with just like streaming and everything is that, yeah, you can literally just, you don't have to buy the CD, you don't have to borrow it from someone, you don't have to, so it's easy to just like, I'm
pretty close-minded, and I feel like you might be more closed-minded than me when it comes to music. Because I've mentioned some names like in the past couple months while we're talking, and you're like, "What are you, a rollerblader?" You make fun of me.
Yeah, I'm a rollerblader, by the way, so I'm making fun of myself.
Yes. So I do kind of think maybe we might have to have a hard-headed old man off.
You know what? I am very close-minded in my music, and I like a lot of genres, but yes, like. I can easily, if you tell me you listen to someone, I'll just, if it's a band that I don't listen to, I'll roll my eyes at it without being like, oh, that's cool. It's like, but no, I mean, I respect everyone's opinion. We're an equal opportunity podcast. Yeah. You want to do top 3?
All right, let's do top 3. This week we didn't, wait, we have another, oh, never mind. Top 3.
We're just going quicker this time.
Top 3 cartoons that we're going to do, and we didn't, not necessarily cartoon characters, not necessarily cartoons from like when we were a kid, but just cartoons in general.
It's animated, essentially.
Any animated show top 3, and the way that we do it, we go back and forth, 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, 1. And once again, these are not the greatest of all time, and this is just what we like, in our opinion. And for some reason, if you're listening to this, we don't know why, but thank you for listening to this. So I'm going to start with number 3, and it's actually a tie because I kind of consider them.
I had 2 for my 3 as well.
Okay, good. Simpsons and Family Guy.
Okay,
because to me they're similar in the fact that it's a family. Yeah. They're hilarious. They're great shows. They've been on forever. They're kind of like the same thing. They're not the same thing. I know that they're both great in their own way, but it's kind of a similar thing.
They're easily comparable, but they're very different.
Yeah, that's a great way of putting it. And so that's my number 3 of all time.
Okay. I would, because mine was kind of a like adult kind of shows, kind of like those, but I had Ren and Stimpy and then Beavis and Butthead. Okay. Like I couldn't figure out which one to put at 3. Ren and Stimpy, I feel, is SpongeBob before SpongeBob got there. Yeah, just showing close-ups of really gross things like rotten teeth and stuff. And just like the way they filmed the show was... And then Beavis and Butthead, obviously. I mean, like, did you see that the SNL skit more recently?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It was... I watched it the other day, and I mean, like, when someone breaks that hard... Like, I mean, like...
When the girl turned
yes, when she saw Butthead specifically. Yeah. I mean, and it's just... I mean, it was such a dumb skit, but it worked.
And they're like, me?
Yeah.
They're not even doing
it was
the voice.
Great.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just like, okay, the skull and the death rock, so...
Here's a negative aspect of me as a person. I'll throw this out there. Sometimes, like, people will send me clips to stuff, like, hey, check this out. And... in my mind, like, someone sent me the Beavis and Butthead clip, and I was like, yeah, I watch SNL every week, front to back.
You're the only one. You and actually my sister Jessica.
I love SNL. Wow. Like, I think these are like the top, like, whatever. You can say it's not the same as from it, but it's still the top people in, like, sketch comedy doing stuff, and they're great, and it gets a little too political, but you don't have to watch it. And not everything is good. Like, some stuff sucks, and that's great too. But, like, I watch all of it consistently. So when somebody sends me, like, hey, check out SNL. Did you know they still do good skits? I'm like, yeah. I get, like, mad. like they're just trying to share with me. And I'm just like, yeah, of course I saw it.
Well, you're like, it's like, hey, man, the Cubs have been doing well lately. It's like, I know. Yeah. It's like, I follow them.
Yeah.
I feel bad saying that I hate the Cubs, but it is an example.
That's definitely, like, a negative part of my... And I'm aware of it. Yeah. So, like, I try not to be... I'm like, they're just trying to share information with you. What's your problem?
Yeah.
But
no, I thought you were going in a different direction with that because I am one of those people who does that a lot, and I'll walk with my wife. It's a lot of like, here, watch this, and I just hand the phone to her, and she's always pissed off, and it's like, what I have to show her I know is funny, and she knows it too, but it's one of those things where it's like, dude, I'm in no state of mind right now to all of a sudden watch this, and like, you're probably not gonna be happy with my, because I have a guy at work that does that every day when I walk, and dude, you gotta watch this, and it's like, there's no context of anything, it's like, here, watch this, like, what's your number 2?
By the way, I do that with sports too, like sports clips. People will send me. I'm like, I watched the whole game, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what happened in the second quarter. I'm a jerk. My number 2 is more recent of a show, and I think it was a Netflix only show, but I could be wrong on that.
I know what it is.
BoJack Horseman. I loved BoJack Horseman. To me, going into it, I'm not a big cartoon guy in general. Like, I don't watch Adult Swim stuff. I don't watch most cartoon stuff. Like, it's just not something that really interests me too much. But this one, because I heard it was kind of like more adult.
It's got a comedic cast too, right?
Yeah, Will Arnett is the horse.
He's everything now, man.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And the horse is kind of based off of Bob Saget, who was one of your favorite TV dads on the last episode. Because the horse was in a Full House-like TV show in the 80s, and now this is him. He's rich, but he's like drunk all the time, and it's like the downhill. But this show, there are 2 episodes of this show that I will put up against any piece of like television, like any episode of anything. Creative, funny, like just the way that's like somebody came up with. I won't. Should I ruin it? Should I tell you one of them?
I've never seen the show, and
one of them was an underwater episode.
Okay.
The entire episode was underwater, and it was so like crazy because there's no like words.
Yeah.
Like they're speaking, but
so
it's the bubble
trying
noises.
to make out what they're saying?
Kind of. And you kind of like you can follow it because you can hear it's like you can hear like noises and this kind of thing.
So is it like a gimmick episode kind of?
I wouldn't even say that.
Okay.
But it's totally different than like the rest of the show. The rest of the show, he's going to rehab. He's doing all sorts of like crazy different things. But this one, the way that they filmed it, and then one episode is just one scene for like a half hour.
Wow.
And it's like a funeral. And I'll just leave it at that.
Okay.
If you want to watch any 2 episodes, I would suggest watching those 2. You might not get everything that's going on because of the stuff, whatever. But that show to me was just like on a different level than a cartoon. Like I watch it like it's a regular show, not a cartoon show, even though it's a talking horse. You know what I mean? Like I mean,
Family Guy's got a talking dog.
Yeah,
it's like
everything's kind of whatever. But yeah, this was just kind of like more adult topics and just stuff that you're like, oh, like it's a little bit crazier. That one to me stuck out. Like so that's my number 2.
This is actually funny because it kind of has to do with what you were just talking about. So my number 2 is G.I. Joe, and speaking of like kind of episodes and TV shows that stand out like that don't really like, even if there's like a story going on, they might take a week off and then come back to it. So the show Community with Joel McHale, there is and they had probably 5 or 6 episodes in like their 6 seasons that were I would call gimmick episodes, whether it was a musical, whether it was an 8-bit video game, the whole episode. So they had an episode where they did a G.I. Joe episode. I don't know how they got the rights to do this, but they had the same exact animation. They used the Yo-Jo, everything like that. And in the spoiler, I guess, in the episode, they actually kill Destro, and that's one of the things in G.I. Joe the cartoon. No one ever dies. Okay. Like, people always get, they'll just fall over, whatever. So, in this episode, Joel McHale's character, like, oh, Destro got away, and he's like, ha, on his parachute. He's like, no, I got him, and like shoots the parachute down, and he just drops and dies. And all the Joes are just like, what did you do, man? He's like, oh, I killed Destro. It's all good. They're like, we don't kill. It's like, it's so funny. But anyway, my brother Rob and I, we just grew up watching this show. The toys, everything, going out garage sailing, G.I. Joes are still valuable. I've had a lot of luck with those. But no, it's just, just every morning I remember waking up, it was just on. Okay. So, but, and then the movie was awesome too.
I don't remember G.I.
The animated movie.
The show too much, which is like I remember He-Man, I remember Thundercats, I remember those. I don't really remember G.I. Joe too much.
G.I. Joe had the and winning is part of or half of the battle. The thing
I remember,
G.I. Joe, the message.
Hero.
Well, they had there was the theme song, but no, at the end of every episode, it was like Goofus and Gallant from like highlights. Do you remember that the magazine? There was Goofus and Gallant. Goofus was like the cheese head. I don't know why I said cheese. He was like a fuck up, and then Gallant was like the good kid. But anyway,
we'll call him a cheesehead.
Cheese. But yeah, at the end of every G.I. Joe episode, it would be like a kid smoking or something, and it's just like, we don't smoke. We're a real American.
I like it. I don't remember it.
Sorry,
no,
man.
I don't remember it, but that's good. That's good. My number one.
Yeah,
you've already mentioned it.
Okay,
Beavis and Butthead.
Nice.
It was just at the right age, at the right time, creative, new, different bands, everything. And I mean, the most recent movie that they put out on Paramount Plus, loved it.
I didn't even watch it actually.
I loved it, and it's always like, nostalgia mixed with funny, and I think it was probably like the first adult-ish cartoon, maybe. Like it was at that exact age where you're like from a kid to an adult.
Yeah,
like
I feel like we were their age when that came out. I mean, I think I was like,
when was it?
Fifth
like
grade, maybe
94, 95, 96, somewhere.
Yeah, so it was probably like right around junior high age.
Yeah, like
for me at least, maybe like 6th grade, 5th. But I remember, your cousin, his name's Nick. We can just say that by now. We keep saying your cousin, or are we not supposed to say his name?
Now we get sued.
Oh, crap. But anyway, I remember there was like a controversy going on where they were like, this happened all the time when they were trying to like get Beavis and Butthead off the air. Mm-hmm. And it's like, I don't know, there was no internet back then, so it's like, I don't know if any of this shit's true. But like, I remember, Nick was like constantly trying to come up with, they can just change their names. I don't know why I remember this forever. He's like, they could be Jeheevis and Bunghole. I don't know where Jeheevis came from, but it's so weird. But anyway, sorry, I'm taking your...
That's great. That's great.
Jeheevis.
I don't have anything else to add, so Beavis and Butthead, my number one.
All right, my number one, this was, because I the ones you said, I could put South Park in here too, but I think I'm just going to put X-Men, the animated series. Which actually kind of rebooted into X-Men 97, which is on Disney now. But yeah, just, I'm a big comic book guy. Not comic books in general. Like, I'm kind of a poser in that sense, the actual comic books, but I love the stuff that's on film. So, like the MCU and all the Spider-Man movies. And
I've never been a comic books guy either. Yeah. Maybe a little bit. Like, I remember buying some. We would go to my grandma's house, and then she had like a Walgreens, or it wasn't a Walgreens, it was whatever the drugstore was. And we would go and get, like X-Men comic books and stuff like that. But it was not, not my thing. No,
I'm so stuck on that.
I did. I brought up Farmore like a couple months ago.
It's hilarious. Jody's family used to shop at Farmore. You used to go to Farmore too? It's like...
This show brought to you by Farmore.
Farmore.
I'm gonna superimpose
where you could get far more. And then I just I guess Invincible would be like my what is it? Shit.
What's that?
Notable.
Are you okay?
No, geez, I think I'm like too hot. What is that called? Like your It's like didn't make the top 5. It was like number 6.
Oh, potable. Runner-up.
Yeah. Jeez.
Well, I got a lot of runner-ups as well, because like this was surprisingly more difficult than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
So I got a list here that I'm just gonna
honorable mentions.
Oh, there you go.
I was gonna text you at midnight.
Invincible. It was way better and clearly close.
Yeah.
Doug, Rugrats.
Yeah.
Those things. I loved Doug. I was a big Doug guy. Recently found his action figures. I don't want to give them up, but they're worth too much money, and I don't need them. Another one, King of the Hill, was one that I thought of. I liked that one. DuckTales? Any of those?
Okay.
DuckTales, Darkwing Duck, Tailspin, that whole... Like...
I was DuckTales, not the other two, though.
Okay. Chippendale's Rescue Ranger. Popeye?
Not really. See, these things
That's
were always
old.
on. I mean, like,
Yeah.
they were always on at my house, but it's like, did I watch them?
Yeah. No, this is... you're giving enough information,
Yeah.
I think. Inspector Gadget.
Yeah.
The Jetsons. I like Jetsons. Jetsons was good.
Jetsons, Flintstones, I wasn't really a...
I had Ren and Stimpy on there. And then one that didn't make either of our lists, South Park.
No, well, that's why, like, I put South Park with a question mark, because that's why with, like, these ones, Invincible, Family Guy, South Park, it's like, I wasn't sure if we were doing 80s, like, kids cartoons growing up.
Yeah.
Because this is clearly, like, these are made for adults.
Yep.
No, South Park is just, I mean, those guys are geniuses.
Yeah, absolutely. Would that be top 3 for you if you are redoing it?
Probably.
Okay.
Honestly, like, if I go by, like, what I remember in enjoyment level, probably G.I. Joe would be gone, too, because it's like, yes, this is more that's my Danny Tanner answer from last week.
Right.
You know, my nostalgia, it's kind of covering everything. But, no, I mean, like, yeah, I think, obviously, shows like Family Guy, even like Rick and Morty, I mean, like, these are shows that make me laugh my ass off as an adult, so...
Yeah. I never got into Rick and Morty, but I've been told that I should be watching this or whatever. There were a couple like characters that I really like remember liking. Chili Willy, remember Chili Willy, and Droopy. Mighty Mouse was like a big one. Like, but those were like characters, and it's not like I couldn't even tell you what an episode of that is.
Yeah, was that like, were they part of like Tom and Jerry?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. At least
I remember the Big Bulldog.
Yeah. So there was like cartoons during Tom and Jerry.
Yeah.
Or like a
spin-offs
offshoot or whatever. Yeah,
in the same world.
All right, well that's pretty good. We'll leave it there. Next week we're going to do top sports movies, top 3 sports movies of all time, and then next week the debut of the bucket.
Woo!
Where we will have a bucket with stuff, and it will be picked. And I assume. The bucket is already in existence. You might even be able to see it. Is it visible on the screen? Maybe. Well, that's for us to find out later. You got anything you want to plug or anything? Should we just get out of here?
Yeah, let's get out of here. Later.